This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, San Quentin Prison. Once you enter, it is unlikely you will leave. But convicted murderer Mark Adams fashioned an improbable escape. You may be able to help catch him. The story of a young housewife who vanished from her home in Gothenburg, Nebraska. Her husband wants her back, but he must answer allegations that he is the one responsible for her disappearance. Stephen Cox was a small-town hero, handsome, popular, successful. Stephen Cox may also have been a con man who bilked over $3 million out of his unsuspecting neighbors. The people of Medford, Oregon want their money back.
A young housewife who disappeared, a local hero turned bad, an escaped convict. 3 people whose fate remains a question mark. Perhaps tonight we'll find some answers. Also, a special appeal from the police in Philadelphia, who will ask for your help in tracking down a murderer. Join me. You may be able to help solve the mystery.
The town of Gothenburg is located in the heart of Nebraska's Farm Belt. There is a strong sense of community among its 3,000 inhabitants. And when a neighbor is in trouble, it becomes everybody's business. On December 11th, 1987, a housewife named Christy Nichols vanished. Her disappearance turned into a controversy that continues to this day. Christy married Mark Nichols when she was 19. Soon after their marriage, a daughter was born. Those who knew Christy well felt her life centered around her family.
Christy was a very good student and nice-looking girl, and people liked her, but she always had kind of a negative self-image, and I think Christy never felt she did.
That say he is responsible for her disappearance.
People in small towns, they talk a lot, and a lot of these rumors tend to get pretty vicious. There's been a couple rumors that I'd chopped her up and put her in garbage bags and buried her at the dump. That's one of the first ones I heard, and that one really got to me, because I guess they were actually up there digging around.
Mark Nichols claims he is innocent of all wrongdoing. He wants his wife to come home. But until Christy returns to Gothenburg, he remains under a cloud of suspicion. The police investigation of this case has raised some disturbing questions about the events surrounding his wife's disappearance.
Since Christy vanished 11 months ago, no one, family members or friends, have had any contact with her. For this reason, the Nebraska State Patrol has been called in. Officer Terry Aarons is in charge of the case.
And as the investigation has proceeded, it's starting to look more and more like a foul play situation. There's just a lot of things that aren't ringing true, that don't appear like your normal missing person situation.
Christy, let's
Police began to uncover evidence that the Nichols marriage was in trouble.
Mark, could you just wait out here for a few
They
minutes,
learned that
please?
Christy had been seeing another man. 10 days before her disappearance, she had gone to a local hospital for treatment of an injury she received during a fight with Mark.
Gone over the x-rays, and it doesn't look like your thumb is broken. However, it's
The only
obviously-
bad fight I can remember is when I was trying to get her to stay home from going out, and she was getting so upset at me, she started to try to hit and kick me, and that's when she burned the side of my neck with a cigarette she was holding. And I tossed her onto the waterbed, and she landed wrong and kind of twisted up her thumb underneath her.
What exactly happened to your finger tonight? I saw Christy on the Friday after Thanksgiving. She came to the emergency room complaining of a sore thumb. She was acting like a scared rabbit, if you will. She's never been one for great eye contact or been very verbal. She obviously wasn't telling me everything either. Mark was in the hallway nearby, and I couldn't, looking back, really tell if it was reassuring for her to have Mark there or not.
Christy also told her cousin, Debbie Fredrickson, that she had been abused by Mark.
Here's your beer, sir.
When I went to see Christy, she was working, she showed me a bruise on her side. And it really scared me. I told her she needed to go get help from somebody. And I asked her how it had happened, and she said her and Mark had gotten an argument, and he had thrown her around.
What's your problem?
I need someone to help me get through.
Christy was frightened that Mark would find out, and for this reason went to an out-of-town lawyer.
Well, just relax. We do a lot of divorce work. I've handled hundreds of divorces, but she had to rank up in the top 5 of being very distressed and upset and nervous and needed help. And when she explained certain abuses that she had been subjected to, we decided to make some telephone calls to call the authorities and to report certain crimes that had taken place. I feel that she was very sincere and honest in what she was telling me. I don't know what motive she would possibly have had to conjure up a story about being abused by her husband if it didn't in fact happen. I was convinced, and I am still convinced, that it happened.
What was Christy's state of mind when she left the lawyer's office? Was she preparing to run away, as Mark claims? Or was she planning on fighting for the custody of her children, as her mother believes?
I can say that the day that Christy was in my office on December 9th, she was not panic-stricken to the point that she would run or leave. And in fact, she had planned to come back. When she left, she had made an appointment to come back to my office.
The day after this meeting, December 10th, Christy and Mark went Christmas shopping with their children. This was the last afternoon she would spend with her family.
I felt real uncomfortable the day before she left because I felt a lot of anger coming from her.
That evening, the couple hired a babysitter and went to the local bar where Christy worked.
Or he won't go to sleep.
When I babysat the night that she disappeared, I was surprised that those two were going out, the both of them were going out, because I knew they weren't getting along.
When we were at the bar, things seemed to be going real well. I felt there was a good attitude about herself and myself, and a lot of laughing and carrying on.
Mark and Christy